Hello, I'm dietitian Nita Divan. Today is International Diabetes Day, and it is very important for Indians because India ranks second in the diabetic population of the world. We are going to have a question and answer session on diabetes and the role of diet in diabetes. So here we start.
Yes, madam, that's what you rightly said, that India is known as the diabetic capital of the world. So, why do you think that Indians have invited so much disease of diabetes to them?
Generally, the Asian population is more prone towards these metabolic disorders, and as the affluence rises in India, people have got more sedentary lifestyle, the food availability is more, people eat much more than their ancestors, especially refined foods, which add to the calories, their weight increase, and they are more prone to diabetes.
Okay, so this is the changing scenario of lifestyle which is causing India to have much more number of diabetic patients. And you think diet is one of the major factors in, like you rightly said, the increased availability of food. And the second factor you said was that sedentary life means less exercise and more sitting jobs.
Yes.
So regarding now excessive diet availability and dietary factors, what do you say are the major dietary factors which affect the health of the population and our Indian people who are falling prey to diabetes? I see that every other person is being diagnosed with diabetes.
Well, the main cause of type 2 diabetes is overweight and obesity. So in diabetes we have two kinds of diabetes which is type 1 and type 2. Of course there are many more gestational diabetes which we are not covering today. So in type 2 diabetes, being overweight leads to insulin insufficiency. The food, the carbohydrates which are consumed are converted to sugar, and this sugar is not available to the body tissue or the cells for energy. So it is found in the blood, and so they say ki sugar ho gayi, or which is called diabetes. And what we have seen is that having more of refined foods, refined carbohydrates like maida or fried foods, fats, what all we consume is more in the refined food, fast food. These are the items which lead to weight gain and to diabetes.
Okay, that is very good information, that fast food which contains a lot of fat in the form of cream, butter and purified butter which is called ghee, and which is a very high calorie items and carbohydrates and less protein, but it is tasty and palatable, so people are taking a lot of fast food outside or within their homes also. They are consuming such items which are very high calorie. So another thing you said was that the diabetes means the sugar level goes up. One thing I will ask you about these levels of sugar. Another thing I will ask you about the mechanism of diabetes. Now the sugar level goes up, and the role of insulin, you said, is to store the sugar inside the body so that this is utilized slowly. Whereas in case of diabetes, the sugar level goes up and the sugar goes away, is filtered out by the kidney, and the body again remains deprived of sugar, which is an essential component of the body. So please enlighten us about the sugar levels and the effects of insulin on the sugar levels.
Well, normally the sugar fasting blood sugar should be between 70 to 110 milligram per 100 ml, and this is the fasting blood sugar. Normally what happens is that people are not aware that they have diabetes. Life goes on and usually they find the diabetes incidentally. They go to a doctor, get the test done, and they come to know that they have diabetes. And the insulin which is produced by the beta cells in the pancreas, that converts this, makes this glucose available to the body tissue to carry on their daily functions. But when the body is not able to produce enough insulin, or there is an inefficiency in this system, then the sugar is not available to the body to carry out the day-to-day functions, and we have diabetes.
That's very good. You mentioned about the fasting, means overnight fasting. And what is about taking meals and after 2 hours you take that, what is called postprandial? Please tell us about that also. And the third test, which is glycolated hemoglobin, that tells us about the 3 months levels of sugar. Will you please tell us about that?
The postprandial blood sugar should be 150 milligrams per deciliter, and the HbA1c is a test which tells us about the glucose level for the last 3 months. So it tells us how well controlled the sugar is, and it is considered 6.5% is considered as the normal limit. And this test is usually very effective in telling us how to go about managing our diabetes.
Madam, before we come to the main talk of your diet in diabetes, can you please tell that what can be the various problems a person will usually faces when a person starts to suffer from diabetes mellitus, that is shortage of insulin in his or her body?
Well, normally what happens is that you may have polyuria, that is you may go for urination very frequently, especially at night. You may feel very hungry, and in spite of having more food, your weight will fall down. You can have excessive thirst, and you can have itching in your genitals because the sugar crystals are deposited there while passing urine. Then you can have blurring of vision also, and the chronic diabetes can lead to atherosclerosis. It can lead to your retinopathy, neuropathy, nephropathy. That is, your kidneys, your eyes, your heart, your veins are affected due to sugar, and this can lead to many more problems.
Madam, many times their infection is also more in diabetes, and I see many people with feet, getting infected and known as diabetic foot, and sometimes they have to be amputated. That is a combination of infection plus vascular problem. Can you please tell about that?
During diabetes, if you have any infection, or if you have, especially the peripheral nerves are affected in diabetes, and the injury, if a minor injury also occurs, it gets infected, and you have diabetic foot, which is very common. And the body does not, the tissue does not have the energy to repair itself. So the infection spreads very fast, and you have diabetic foot, which is a common this thing. And even if you have an infection, it doesn't heal. So normally when any infection occurs, the patient is put on insulin. Even if they are having oral medicines, they are shifted to insulin because that gives us a better control.
The kidney also fails in diabetes. So some kidneys I heard that kidneys also get affected severely.
Yes, kidneys are affected, and if we have uncontrolled diabetes, it often leads to severe problems in the kidney, and people generally have to go for dialysis or kidney replacement. That's true.
Madam, such other problems I have found that people get impotent also, diabetes very commonly. They have sexual problems also.
Yes, because atherosclerosis takes place. There are plaques of sugar which are deposited in the vessels, and because of this impotency occurs.
So, madam, thank you very much about telling what is diabetes, how it happens, type A, type B, see the shortage of insulin and high levels of sugar. And sometimes the sugar levels can fall very low also and can go very high also.
Yes, that is a complication of diabetes mellitus, of sugar, is that sometimes when the patient has not eaten enough but has taken the sugar medicine, or if they have diarrhea, or if they have vomit, then the sugar levels fall drastically, and it is called, the patient goes into hypo. And such, normally we suggest to the patients that they should have sugar or a sweet with them, which they can put in their mouth. They will have sweating, palpitations, confusion of the mind, or 15 milligrams of glucose can be given to such patients to revive them. It is a very dangerous situation.
This is a very good tip you have said, that the sugar levels may fall and patient may have heartbeats, feeling his heartbeats, palpitation, or sweating and confusion, and can become unconscious also.
Yes.
So before he becomes unconscious, should take some sugar or eat something, whatever is available to him. So very high level of sugars also can cause some unconsciousness.
Very high level of sugar can cause ketoacidosis, and they can affect the kidneys. So when the sugar levels are going very high, about 500, 600, and the patient is not managing it, that is also a very dangerous state.
Yeah, it's a hyperosmolar, hyperglycemic ketoacidosis with unconsciousness and acidosis, which are all dangerous. So all these complications and diabetes you have nicely explained. Now this diabetic day is basically to make the people aware, and your specialty is that of the diet. Now you have kept these things here. Can you please explain what is the significance of keeping these things here?
Well, what I want to say is that sugar or diabetes can be managed with diet and lifestyle changes. So there are some very significant lifestyle changes which one must include. The first and foremost is that if you are overweight, if you are obese, you must try and come to your ideal body weight, and you must lose weight. So the first and foremost is that the carbohydrates which you are consuming should not be refined carbohydrates. Like here we have sugar, we have bread, which is made of maida, and so anything which is made of simple sugar, maida, these should be totally avoided in your diet. Like we North Indians, we are roti eating people. So in your atta, you must have whole wheat atta with the bran, and you can add black gram atta in that, or jaw, or that's barley atta in that, so that your glycemic index does not shoot up.
Sorry to interrupt you, madam. You have told very nice thing that refined flour of any type and the refined sugars should not be taken. But there are few questions. One thing is that please give us the list of the things like what bakery items and others, which commonly people don't know are high in calories or glucose level. And second thing is that can the fats also cause similar problem? The fats in the form of butter or refined butter, which is called ghee or cream, which is commonly used in cooking these items.
All bakery items, whether they are biscuits, cakes, pastries, then you have ice creams, then you have cold drinks, squashes, sharbat, all these things have very high sugar content. Then you have packaged drinks, which again have very high sugars. So they all should be avoided. Then pasta, Maggi, noodles, or you have matti and save, all these things which we are aware of they should be totally avoided from your food.
Many people, madam, think that the good is equally harmful or it is better.
In sugar, or if you have diabetes, whether it is good, whether it is honey, whether it is sugar, they have the same calories, so they should be totally avoided. It is not about because here when we talk of diabetes and sugar, we talk of calories. So they have the similar calories and they should be totally avoided.
So means what about these are basically the carbohydrate and fats. They add calories.
Yes,
by
sorry, I forgot the fat part. As we were talking that usually the people who have diabetes are overweight and obese. So if you have fats, that you have desi ghee or dalda, or if you have fried food, or if you have any form of fat, it is going to increase your weight, it is going to put a pressure on your system. So please avoid all kinds of fat. You can have very little monosaturated fatty acids or polysaturated fatty acids in the form of mustard oil, olive oil, canola oil. These you can take 2 to 3 small teaspoonfuls per day and not more than that.
So you are now pinpointing that let us discuss this thing. Like a person who is diabetic, okay, he is type 2 diabetic because it is that insulin is short and his weight or more demand is more. So he will require more insulin for more carbohydrate and more fat. So what should be the, like being a dietitian, we will require you to please tell us that how many in the day he can take, like bread or the other roti or some makai ki roti, maize or other things, and how much butter or ghee exactly in the cooking or otherwise he can take about. Please tell us in detail the diet of carbohydrate and fat diet for a diabetic patient.
Well, if you are going, whatever roti you have, firstly it should have complex carbohydrates. That is, it should have bran, it should have black gram flour, it should have jaw, so that it becomes complex carbohydrate. The fiber content of such a roti will be more. So if you have, as to how many rotis you can take, that will depend on your age, your height, your body weight, that we calculate and we tell according to, suppose if a person, we calculate according to your ideal body weight, how many calories you need. So if you have a sedentary lifestyle, you have to take different amount of calories, or if you have moderate activity or have heavy activity, it all depends on that.
Okay, for that means they should come for consultation and for detailed thing.
So if you are a ghee person, the maximum ghee you can have is that you can just, what we say, you can just put a little ghee on your roti, desi ghee, with just a few drops, so that your allowance is 2 to 3 teaspoons. So you have to manage in that. You can take a little desi ghee and rub it on your roti, and that is all.
You mentioned desi ghee and then you mentioned olive oil and mustard oil, and there is there is hydrogenated oils like dalda and non-hydrogenated oils like pure oils. So which you find is better, desi ghee and dalda, that means hydrogenated, which is a frozen one type, and one the liquid oils, and especially the ones which may be less in having some omega fatty acids like olive oil or mustard oil. And you have to please tell us about the common public also, that the cost factor, keeping the cost factor for the daily use.
The dalda or the hydrogenated oils are trans fatty acids, and they should not be consumed at all. They are the most dangerous to your health. So, according to the cost effectiveness, in whichever region you are staying, whether if you are in Punjab, you can have your mustard oil, if you are in Kerala, you can have your coconut oil. So, you that kind of regional diversity is there in India, but dalda or hydrogenated oil should be totally banned.
Okay, should not be used. This is not good for health.
Yeah,
So this thing, the least one should use.
yeah,
And now what about you have kept some fruits also. They are also sweet.
yeah. There are some sweets. Sweets provide you with vitamins and minerals, antioxidants. So even a diabetic person can have about 100 to 150 grams of fruit once or twice a day, especially if you have it in the early part of the day. It is better. Like you can have your citrus fruits, you can have your amrud, you can have your even apple, but normally you have to see to it that it is about 100 to 150 grams. So fruits are
100 to 150 grams
of
only
fruit
means.
you can have per day. You can avoid the very sweet fruit like mangoes, chikus, or especially fruit juices are to be avoided at all costs.
Okay, you told that you can avoid mango, chiku, very sweet fruits. Can you recommend some fruits which are on low sugar level?
Yeah, there is papaya, there is guavas, there are oranges, mosmis, and chakotra which we have, which is again a very good fruit to have. You can have these fruits.
Are there some fruits which reduce the level of sugar?
No, sugar, all fruits have fructose, so they cannot reduce the level.
They all increase. They have fructose, different
Yeah.
type of glucose.
Yeah.
And what about these vegetables also? You have?
Vegetables are a must for a diabetic person or for your good health. So because they are complex carbohydrates and they are going to help you in maintaining your glycemic load. So please include vegetables in all your meals, green leafy vegetables or whatever seasonal vegetables are available in this time of the year. You can use all of them. There are some vegetables which you should avoid, and they are like we put aloo or potato in everything. You can use soya nuggets instead of that. You should avoid too much of potato, arbi, jimikan, chakundar. So these are the fruits which you should, vegetables which you should avoid. Otherwise, all green vegetables and green leafy vegetables you should have. Fiber plays a very important role in the control of diabetes. So the complex carbohydrates, you have insoluble fiber and soluble fiber. Some things like this methi seeds have got soluble fiber, which if you soak them overnight and if you drink the water and have these seeds, they help in regulating your blood sugar levels. Then there is guar gum, which if included in the diet is also known to reduce your blood glucose levels. Then bran is something which should be put in your chapatis, should not be taken out. You should not sieve the flour, you should have your roti with bran because bran helps to regulate your sugar.
That is very nice. You tell this methres and this guar sugar,
Guar gum.
guar gum, the tree gum, guar gum.
Yeah.
And this, the third thing you said,
Is bran.
bran,
Choker.
choker, that we should use in excess. Regarding vegetables, you will like how much salad a normal person, say adult person, should take?
You should include fresh salads in almost all your meals. Like if you are having breakfast and if you want to have a stuffed roti, it is very good. Mooli is there, radish is there, then cauliflower is there, or even green leaves like methi or spinach, you can use them. That will be a serving of your vegetables or your in your diet. Then for lunch you can have a quarter plate of salad. For dinner again you should start your meal with a plate of salad. And please include the seasonal salad which is available. Like in winters you have cucumber, or in summers like you're having again radish or whatever is available. That is what you should be eating.
So you mean that vegetables are the most important things. You are suggesting that every meal should be started with
A
a
salad.
vegetable salad.
Yeah.
And should that be added, the lemon should be put on that,
Please avoid salt in your salads. You can dress it with lemon.
or vinegar?
Why we should go for our normal Indian thing, which is a lemon and is rich in vitamin C.
Okay.
It will help you to assimilate your minerals better.
Vegetable soups one should take daily.
Vegetable soups should be avoided if you have got hypertension plus diabetes, because that becomes high in salt. Otherwise, having a soup in the evening is a good option.
Means without salt one can have the soup.
Yeah.
So, madam, this the last question is, for example, a person, I am say 60 kg, average person, but say diabetic, although I am not diabetic, but then what will be the diet you will say from morning to evening?
Well, if you in the morning you should start your day with water with methi seeds in it, and you can add a dash of lemon to that, and then your breakfast should consist of complex carbohydrates, like I said, a stuffed roti or poha or vegetable dalia, which should also include a protein like a katori of curd or egg whites, which is again a very, because we have to focus on proteins in a diabetic diet, otherwise you lose your lean muscle mass. So each meal should have protein. So for breakfast you can have your curd, you can have your egg whites, you can have your milk. Then mid-morning you can have one fruit serving, which is a must, and with the fruit serving you can have your lassi or you can have your lemon water. For lunch you go for a plate of salad first, then your thali should have, if you're a woman you can have 1 or 2 rotis, and or a man it should not be more than 2 rotis, I think, if you are 60 that is, and a katori of whole dal. Whole dal, what we have seen is that kidney beans, lobia, chana, green gram dal, all these help to regulate your diabetes. So 1 katori of that, 1 katori of vegetable and 2 rotis should be enough for a diabetic patient. Then at around 4 or 5 you can have a snack, and after this, half an hour after the snack, have a cup of tea, and by 7 o'clock you can have your soup. 7:30 again your meal will be similar to your lunch, except that you should have 1 roti less. And before you sleep, that is around 9:30, we recommend that a diabetic patient should have skimmed milk 1 cup, so that the sugars do not fall at night.
Madam, thank you very much regarding this, especially this which you have added now, the protein part of it, the dairy protein, the milk and milk products, and the eggs and meat, fish or chicken or mutton. Would you like to say something more about this, the meat product, the eggs, chicken and mutton, fish?
Proteins for a non-vegetarian would be egg whites, fish, chicken, which is lean, and we do not recommend mutton. For the vegetarians, it is again milk products like paneer, skimmed milk has to be used. Your fat should not be there. And the other thing which you can get your proteins is whole beans, like as I said, rajma, lobia, chane, and then your green gram. So they are the sources of your protein for vegetarians.
Madam, to end this in a nice note, there are 2 questions which are a bit funny. First is that dietitians recommend so much diet that I think a person will get fat. Usually one doesn't.
That is what we recommend is home cooked food. If you have so much food outside in a restaurant where you are not sure about the fats which are being used, the preservatives which are being used, they use so many other things which will, if you have a normal meal like this at home, you are not going to.
No, I meant that maybe that exercise and activity part may be lacking in our population.
As I said in the beginning, for a diabetic patient, it is important to bring about lifestyle changes. So in the lifestyle changes, the activity plays the most important role. If you are diabetic, start by walking for 40 minutes. Then any other activity like cycling, like badminton, table tennis, swimming, whatever you like, play a game, go out, and you must include some activity, some exercise in your lifestyle which will help you in the long run to control your diabetes.
What do you say, madam, about yoga, about deep breathing and anywhere, anytime exercises, like you're sitting and moving your arms and legs?
They are very good stress busters, and we are all so stressed, and stress is a very important part of our day-to-day life, and too much stress can also increase your diabetes. So these activities like pranayama, meditation will help you to get relief from your stress and control your diabetes.
And anytime, anywhere exercises, you're moving your
That
different
is
body
good
parts.
movement. Any movement is good for your body.
Okay. Now the last thing on this Diabetic Day, International Diabetic Day, is that the way you are recommending, it means that where will all the cream go and sugar go if people don't eat it? The industry will fail. So do you think people out of taste and this commercialism and taste, people want to sell those items which are tasty, and so they are guided by the customer's taste, and so they add cream and sugar in different forms, and the people enjoy and the industry furnishes. So you will be saying that people should not enjoy their food and industry should fail?
Well, you have to eat with your mind and not by your tongue. Especially if you are diabetic or even everybody else, people have become very health conscious, and you should see to it that you don't become your food. You should use your food as your medicine. Then only you will have a healthy lifestyle, and with that we end this interview. Thank you so
Madam,
much.
please tell your consultation hours where somebody has to consult you.
Well, I am available at Diwan Hospital from 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, and from 5 to 7 in the evening. And in case you have liked my lecture, you can subscribe to my channel, where we will be doing more such videos on health and food and nutrition, and you can share the video. Thank you so much.